Oh my lord, ladies and gentlemen, Baptiste is amazing to play, but how will he affect the meta? We don't really know just yet. But in this video, I want to go over all of the buffs and all of the nerfs on the PTR because honestly, guys, we're going to be playing a completely different game when this all hits the live servers. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. So yes, obviously, we've got Baptiste, the brand new hero, the main support or a main support hero. If you guys haven't watched the interview I've done with Jeff, then go and check that out. It's on the channel. There are 2 videos for it. Super cool, gives loads of information as to what's going on with the hero and with possible future stuff for the game. However, this PTR patch is possibly the biggest patch I have ever seen in terms of just buffs and nerfs, and well, obviously there's a new hero. Just ridiculous. So clearly they've been working on this for a long time. So I'm going to go over these updates really quick and then we can have a chat about what they might mean and also what some notable people from the community think might happen to a certain type of meta. Yes, hello, that is the 3-3 goats meta. Alright, so armor. Beam time damage is now reduced by 20% when hitting armor. Damage over time effects are no longer mitigated by armor. Now the dev comments on this are the damage taken by armor from damage over time effects such as Widowmaker's Venom Mine and beam weapons like Symmetra's Photon Projector vary greatly. Now it will be more consistent and more predictable. Damage boost is now applied when a projectile is fired rather than when it hits a target. This means you can be damage boosted, fire a rocket, die. Well, actually, sometimes fire rockets just despawn. Let's use Hanzo as an example. So you can be damage boosted, fire your Hanzo arrow, die, and then your arrow hits somebody, it will still be damage boosted. Beautiful. Knockback. This is really funky. There are some really crazy interactions with this right now. So knockback distance is now more consistent. Heroes that are flying can now be knocked back and slowed. Now this means heroes like D.Va, when she uses D.Va Bomb, it can be Lucio speed boosted right now and it moves really fast, which is ridiculous. This also means though, heroes that are flying can now be knocked back and slowed. Well, when Mercy goes for Valkyrie reses, she can be knocked back. Lucio can knock her back to interrupt the res. Winston can smash her out the way when he's using his ultimate. So this is kind of a bit of a nerf to Mercy in that way. Sound. Now, there is a new sound that plays when you land a hit while damage boosted, so you can tell you're damage boosted. And a new sound plays when you land a hit, but it doesn't do any damage. Now, that's funky, isn't it? Okay, let's go on to some hero updates. So, Anna, Nano Boost. Heal reduced from 300 to 250. This is a nerf, and the dev comments on this are giving Nano Boost an instant heal effect, enabled players to survive longer, and made Anna's ultimate valuable. However, it needs to be slightly less effective for refilling large health pools. And one thing you'll notice, guys, with all these changes, it is to combat tank-heavy comps. So, Nano Boost is now less effective at healing tanks. I mean, yeah, it's just a straight-up nerf. Doomfist, Rising Uppercut, cooldown reduced from 7 to 6 seconds. Seismic Slam, cooldown reduced from 7 to 6 seconds. These are 2 buffs for Doomfist, which he severely needs because while Doomfist is not in the best place right now, dev comments on this are reducing the downtime of Doomfist abilities should make his gameplay feel more fluid, so that's cool. Hanzo, Sonic Arrow detection radius increased from 7 to 9 meters. That's a Hanzo buff. It means, well, Hanzo's Sonic Arrow is now more effective. It's got a bigger radius, so that's pretty nice. Lucio, Sonic Amplifier, Soundwave now counts towards offensive assists. So you hit people with Soundwave, you'll get an offensive assist. So yeah, when you boot people, cool. McCree, this is a huge one. McCree's buffed and nerfed. So the nerf is Fan the Hammer. The damage is reduced from 55 to 50. That's okay. I think that's probably to be expected because Fan the Hammer is a little bit strong. However, here's the buff. Deadeye. Damage per second increased from 275 to 550 after locking onto targets for 2.5 seconds. That means you are now doing a massive amount of damage to barriers. This means you can use Deadeye to blow barriers away. Reinhardt, oh, you lock on, bang, you do tons of damage. This is really cool. This actually is a super cool change. And also it says, the developer comments, after reducing armor's effectiveness for all heroes, Fan the Hammer doesn't need to deal quite as much damage. Increasing Deadeye's damage after being locked on for a bit makes it more effective when attacking high health static targets like barriers and heroes with over 600 health. It will not impact how dangerous this is for heroes under 600 health. So this is cool. This just straight up means McCree's ultimate is now much better for blowing away barriers. So what about Mei? So Mei's Endothermic Blaster, the primary fire, the damage is increased from 2.25 to 2.75, 45 to 55 damage per second. Cool. Ice Wall, health reduced from 500 to 400, and the dev comments on this are increasing the damage of Mei's primary fire should make her freeze and icicle move combination more potent. Making the pillars on Mei's Ice Wall easier to destroy means less waiting for the wall to disappear on its own and more opportunities to counter. Cool. And we're not done yet, guys. There are loads of stuff here. There's just tons. So we're getting on to Moira now. Biotic Grasp. Heal over time duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. Total healing increased from 50 to 65. The dev comments on this. These are minor changes to make Moira's passive healing effect on Biotic Grasp slightly more effective when topping off an ally's health. So it's just a straight up buff to Moira's healing output. Orisa, Fusion Driver, movement speed penalty while firing reduced from 50% to 30%. Now this means you can move faster while you're firing, and this feels hella good. This feels really nice. Makes Orisa feel less like jarring when you start firing and start to move. It's like you're stuck in mud. Yeah, you still move slower, but obviously it's 20% less slower. So it's great. It's a nice quality of life change. Farah, rocket launcher, minimum explosion damage increased from 16.25 to 20. Now the dev comments for this are, this change sets the rocket launcher's minimum damage impact to where it was before we rebalanced its direct impact and explosive damage in a recent patch. This means that she's more effective against clumped up heroes. You know, so comps like goats. I love you, Blizz. Okay, Soldier 76 gets a load of buffs. I love this. So Soldier 76, and just remember Farah, because we'll get onto Junkrat, because Junkrat is the same sort of thing as Farah. So check this out anyway. Soldier 76, pulse rifle, damage increased from 19 to 20. Sprint, delay before you can fire the weapon after using sprint has been reduced from half a second to 0.3 seconds. And here's the big one. Tactical visor can target Riptire and Immortality Field. So you know what this is. I honestly think that this is them trying to predict the meta, predict maybe more use of Junkrat because of the Junkrat buffs we'll get onto a second. And, well, if Soldier's using Tac Visor, he can't take out Riptire, but now he can. So he has a viable way to counter it without trying to shoot at it, which is obviously huge because Tac Visor is an aimbot, so it would take out the tire. That's massive. And also, it targets Immortality Field. That's just ridiculous. So let's get on to Sombra. Hack cooldown is reduced by half when hacking a health pack. So still the same for hacking players and objects and stuff like that. But for hacking health packs specifically, it is now half the time. This means it's faster, so there's more of an option to just quickly get a cheeky hack onto the, well, the health pack, which is fine. Torbjorn gets buffed, right? So base health increased by 50, armor, 250 maximum health. That's crazed, right? Torb is just way more tanky. Overload, armor gain reduced from 150 to 100. And the dev comments for this are, Torb's survivability was a bit low, so we've shifted some power from his overload ability to his base health. So basically, Torb is just way tankier. He's just got 50 more armor straight away, which is just beautiful. So Torb is much more tankier, right? He's just a little, well, he's just tankier. I don't really have much more to say about that. He's got more survivability. Widowmaker, bit of a nerf here. So Infrasight, well, it's kind of a nerf and a buff. So Infrasight reveals enemy health bars. That's huge because you can see the health of everybody on the enemy team. In fact, that's absolutely massive. However, it gets cancelled on death. So if Widow dies, well, then you no longer get Infrasight. So she can't pop it, be killed, and then, like, the rest of your team benefit from it. She has to stay alive, which I kind of like. Wrecking Ball. Adaptive Shield no longer cancels roll mode. So the dev comments for this are, this will make Adaptive Shields a more powerful survival tool, being forced out of roll mode, left Wrecking Ball more susceptible to fire. So that's actually really nice for Wrecking Ball. And then there's a lot of bug fixes, right? I'm not going to go over the bug fixes because there's quite a lot, but I'll link to this in the video description. What I want to go on to now are changes which are coming to the PTR either today or on Friday. So this is from a post from Jeff Goodman, obviously the principal hero designer, and these are the additional changes. And again, more of these changes will combat tank-heavy comps, will combat things like grouping together, will combat things like, you know, for that being a strong tactic, and will just change the game in a ridiculous way. So check this out. Junkrat, frag launcher, impact damage increased from 40 to 60. This, again, means that clumped up enemies, if they're running into a Junkrat or a Farah, because remember, Farah's got a buff to this as well, will be countered by AoE damage dealing heroes much more effectively. But not only that, things like healing have been slightly reduced. Some heroes have had slight buffs, some have been reduced. It's kind of all over the place. All right, let's get on to Lucio. Speed Song. Effect lowered from 30 to 20%, so it's not as effective. You don't move as fast now with speed active. Amp it up Speed Song's amped effect reduced from 70% to 50%. Again, that's a nerf. Wall Ride, passive movement speed gained while wall riding increased from 20 to 40%. So this makes Lucio himself way more survivable, way faster when he's wall riding, and actually they want you to wall ride more. But also, his Speed Song is less effective for your team. This, again, is a nerf to GOATS comps, tank heavy comps, because you need Lucio to get your slow-moving tanks into the fight. McCree, bonus damage ramp from the previous 1.34 change will now begin 1.5 seconds, down from 2.5 seconds. So that's referring to the Deadeye change, I believe. Reaper, passive healing reduced from 50 to 40%. So this is a nerf to Reaper's healing. I like this because Reaper is really dominant at literally every level of the game, apart from I presume, you know, kind of master and above. So for most of the game, Reaper has been ridiculously OP. He's hard to kill. He just walks into enemy teams and deletes them, which obviously is terrible. So this is a nerf to try and fix that. So I like what they're doing here. Symmetra, Photon Projector, primary fire, damage, ramp speed increased by 20%. That's pretty funky, isn't it? Zarya, Particle Cannon. Now this is a Zarya nerf and a half. So alternate fire radius reduced from 2 to 3 to 1 to 2 based on energy level. This means that Zarya's damage output when she's right-clicking or alternate firing into groups of enemies will be less, which means she will get less graviton surges, which means she will be less effective, or she'll have less grav, so she'll be less effective at countering goats, which is kind of what she's used for. Zarya is the main damage dealing component in a tank heavy comp, so this nerfs her again. And remember, she had beam damage nerf against armors as well, and all of that going on. So Zenyatta, this is massive as well. This again is there probably to reduce the effectiveness of him in tank comps, but it kind of has a weird effect where Zen is sort of like you need him to destroy tanks because of Discord. So anyway, let's take a look at this. So Orb of Discord effect reduced from 30 to 25%. So it's 5% less extra damage from Discord. Orb of Destruction damage increased from 46 to 48. Now that means Zen's doing more damage himself, but the trade-off is the Discord. So if Zen Discords a target and fires into it, I believe he'll be doing less damage now than he would before this change. But also, even if Zen isn't firing at that target, if he Discords a target, it will only take 30% extra damage instead of 25% extra damage instead of 30, which obviously is pretty huge. So what about comments from some notable people in the community? Because remember, it is super difficult to guess where any of this is going right now. All that we know is that there are a massive load of changes on the PTR, and this is just going to radically change the game. It might make things like 4 DPS comps viable. It might make things like GOAT stronger. We don't know. Although we believe it will make GOATs and tank comps probably less powerful, so they'll be counterable in some sort of way. So Albion, who is the, I'll just read your name, Joshua Albion, right? So he works with British Hurricane, he's one of the coaches, and obviously you guys know I do work with Cloud9, with Hurricane and Spitfire and all of that stuff. However, this is what he says. Update with the new stuff. Zen change is justified, but not a hero killer. Lucio change hurts tanks, but he's a solo queue start now, I think he means star, and will be, or maybe he just means start, I don't know, like a must pick in solo queue, and will be good in dive. Straight nerf to Zarya is big. Triple DPS with Ball, so it means Wrecking Ball, and Baptiste is my guess for where the meta goes. Mixed feelings about that. And then he says, also, there is even more proof that Blizzard is trying to kill goats for Stage 2 Owl, and I stand by my statement that this is too drastic. Way too many changes for one patch, and a new hero to boot. Okay. We've also got Nox. Now, Nox is the head coach of Hurricane. So he says that Goat Zen, so Zen, Goat with Zen, so the 3-3 comp with a Zen, was played only in mirror matches. But if you face any 2, 3, 4 DPS as you play Anna and Moira, the Lucio nerf might be a problem for some maps with long distance. Until they hard rebuild the sustain potential with tank, the game will still be Goat or 4 tank. Interesting. And I guess we'll just end with this clip here from Blaze. So this just shows you the speed boost you can currently do with D.Va when she's dropping bombs, which obviously is ridiculous with Lucio. This is because of the new momentum and interactions like that going on, which is really funky. But yeah, guys, I've been Stylosa and this is Unit Lost. This patch is huge. It's absolutely huge. We literally cannot tell right now what any of this means. What I attempt to do in this video is go over the changes, just state them as they are, and give a little bit of flavor to each one and what it might mean. We don't know right yet, but these are very exciting times for Overwatch. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates. Guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is @Stylosa as well. And I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.